Hey friends, have you been in any good sack races lately? Friends, it's Pastor Mike from Fellowship Church. Always love to connect with you midweek. Hope you're having a wonderful week. Hope you're enjoying this beautiful fall weather, and hope we love to see you at that tailgate party on Friday night here at the church. That question for you again, have you been in any good sack races lately? Now, if that term is completely unfamiliar to you, my apologies, but you've probably seen them take place at some point in time. Maybe you've done it yourself. Maybe a fun family gathering or a week at camp or some kind of a gathering of some people where you decide to have what's called a sack race. That is, you're paired up with someone else sometimes, and you both put one foot inside of a big burlap sack, and then you try to run a race that way. Or maybe sometimes they skip the sack and they just tie your feet together. Or sometimes they run them individually. You put the sack on both legs and you try to hop around. It's all done for fun and for gags, and people love to see those kinds of things. But kind of hard to run when you're hopping around in a sack. Or it's kind of hard to run when either with the sack or with a rope or something, your leg is tied to somebody else's and you're kind of running around like a pogo stick. And it's kind of hard to run that way. You don't make great time and you sure don't look good doing it. And you're already thinking, Pastor Mike, where in the world are we going with this? Well, if you've read the New Testament book of Hebrews, in the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, it talks about the fact that we have this great cloud of witnesses. Love that idea. But then it says that because we have this cloud of witnesses, that we are to throw off anything that hinders us and get rid of the sin that entangles us. I like that word, the sin that entangles us. When I think about sin entangling us, I can't help but think, wow, it sounds like we're trying to run a race and we're tied to something that we shouldn't be tied to. And we're trying to make good time, and maybe we're trying to look graceful while we're doing it. But if you're dragging something behind you, or you're tied to something you shouldn't be tied to, or maybe you're hopping around in a sack, well, friends, it's pretty hard to follow Jesus that way. Because here's what we know about following Jesus. We love to talk about the fact that as Christians, we're following behind Jesus and we're letting Him lead our lives and all of this, but it's pretty hard to follow someone who's out ahead of us if you've got something tied to your life that doesn't fit. And that phrase, ensnares, is a really powerful phrase, or entangles. It simply means that something is holding on to us that shouldn't be there. And maybe if you're having a hard time following Jesus this way, or you see the life that you believe Jesus is calling you to lead, and you want to be effective here and bearing fruit over there, and you believe Jesus is active right there, you want to be in the middle of that, but it feels like something is holding you back. Well, friends, maybe the time has come to take a good long look at your life and see if there's anything in your life that would qualify as being sin. Because here's what we know about sin. We talk about sin as being a list of things that don't belong in our life, maybe bad behaviors, bad attitudes, words that we say, ideas in our mind, whatever. Here's what we know about sin, though. Sin is something that prevents us from being where we want to be and from being the person that we want to be. So sin is something that literally entangles us and holds us back from being the person that we want to be, the person Jesus called us to be. So here's what that looks like in real life. You're trying to follow Jesus. You're trying to have a life of impact. You're trying to be effective and bearing fruit, and you just feel like you're tied to something that you shouldn't be tied to. Well, friends, if that describes your life, it's time to take a long look in the mirror, take a little look inside your soul, and ask yourself the question, hey, is there something that's tied to me right now that shouldn't be there? And I'm trying to run this race, and all I'm doing is bouncing around like a pogo stick. Well, friends, it happens to all of us at some point in time. May you discover the things that are tied to you that shouldn't be there. May you be freed of those things by the grace of Jesus Christ, and may you run that race really well. Just follow Jesus well this week. I hope that helps you. It certainly helps me when I think about my own life. I hope you have a wonderful week, friends. Hope you're enjoying this beautiful weather. Take care. Hope to see you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.